Obviously, the game plan was heavy run with getting Quinshawn and Zach both back there. Just as an offensive line, what has the mindset changed? You go, all right, we're not going to maybe have to do as much pass blocking, but make sure our run blocking is where it's going to be for 4 full quarters.
Yeah, I think when you run the ball more, it's just more fun in general for the offensive linemen. It's just a big attitude thing, and I think it kind of just helps the whole team in general. You know, if we run the ball well, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the team, offensively and defensively. I think everybody really feeds off of it.
Getting Zach back, is there just an added energy in the huddle, or knowing you've got him back there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of hard for us throughout the drive to tell who's running the ball, honestly, because we play with so much tempo. But anytime you have another set of fresh legs, I mean, it helps so much, especially with a guy like Zach who's so talented and can really make anything break anytime.
9 games stretch, I think the last team to get a bye week. Just what do you feel like as a team with so many new moving parts and pieces y'all have learned about each other through these 9 games?
Yeah, I think it's been great, you know, with the way the schedule was set up for us, that we were kind of, you know, in a way it was kind of nice to have the bye week later because we got so much time to kind of get familiar with everybody and see how everybody reacts on Saturdays and how everybody is playing together and things like that.
After that first drive on Saturday, it seemed like, you know, you just struggled to finish drives, and then the second half, you know, you scored on 3, you know, y'all's first 4 possessions. You know, what switch was kind of flipped, do you feel like, on the offensive line and just really offensively as a whole?
I think we just kind of got sloppy and kind of got out of ourselves. You know, we were in a really good rhythm, and I felt like after that first drive, you know, we kind of got out of the rhythm. We were kind of kicking ourselves. You know, we weren't picking up conversions like we normally do. We had a penalty here and there. You know, just little things that we were kind of missing that, you know, would put us in a bad position, you know, on later downs.
You know, just with Micah Pettis and, you know, Jaden Williams, you know, having to compete in just, you know, this gauntlet of a stretch going on, how do you feel like they've really risen to the occasion in this second half of the season? Yeah,
they've done a great job. I mean, that's one thing you can definitely tell with the two of them is they've definitely matured a lot, and they've gained a lot of confidence in themselves too. You know, they've played really well, and they're starting to really, you know, adapt to the SEC play and, you know, how physical it is.
Getting that win Saturday and kind of helping wash out what happened at Baton Rouge, did it also kind of help y'all as a locker room kind of reset and realize everything is still in front of us, we can kind of still control everything?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still one game at a time, and any win, you know, especially in the division, is just so big. So it was really good for us. You know, you always want to get that bad taste out of your mouth, and with a bye week especially, you know, the taste would sit in for another week. So it was good to get that win.
How are you planning on spending your weekend off?
I think I might drive up to Memphis, watch John Rice Plumlee play. That's kind of my plan right now.
Yeah, I mean, just at this point in, you know, in the year, especially with college football playoff rankings coming out, and where, you know, it seems like everything is kind of magnified, you know, from an outside perspective and all that. Have you found it kind of tougher and tougher to just cancel out distractions, you know, as the season's gone on?
A little bit. I think it's kind of tough just in general with Twitter, Instagram, like ESPN, everything. You know, it's just this day and age, it's hard to not to figure out stuff, but you know, you definitely have to like kind of turn those things off and just focus on what's really relevant, and that's, you know, the team.
Over this past month, since Jackson's kind of been the guy, how have you seen him grow out there day in, day out between Saturdays?
Yeah, his growth has been awesome. I mean, he's done a really great job, not just, you know, on the field and, you know, getting better with, you know, throwing the ball and reading the defenses and things like that, but just as a leader in general. You know, he's been such a big voice for us now that, you know, it's been really cool to see because he's so young, but he's really mature. So it's been really cool to see.
Just from the offseason to now, just having to play a guard position at times, you know, how do you feel like you've gotten more comfortable there?
Yeah, I think that's one thing too. Like, it felt really good in the spring, and I felt like during the first game it kind of felt a little odd just because it was the first game. I never played a real game there, but since that first game, you know, it's been really good, and I felt really good doing it.
Did you kind of, I guess you were in here when we were asking Saturday, did you know that fake punt was coming?
No, I had no idea because I was pretty frustrated on the sideline because we just went 3 and out, and next thing I know, the chains are moving and, you know, officials pointing our way.
You know, was it more excitement to get back out there to do that, or as an offensive lineman, you know, having to play a certain amount of snaps, you know, it was just like, oh, well, here we go again?
No, it was pretty exciting. I mean, plays like that are so big for the momentum of the game, and we ended up getting 3 points out of it, so it was great.
I think you're the third person. Jackson and Mingo said Saturday night the word frustrated, that they weren't really paying attention on that fake punt. I mean, is that how kind of in tune all of y'all are on offense to kind of know, y'all share that emotion that a 3 and out just kind of kills the mood?
Yeah, I think a 3 and out is kind of like the worst thing. It's just, in general, you want to move the ball, and where we were at on the field, if we went 3 and out, we were going to put our defense in a tough spot, and not only from the standpoint of field position, but they didn't really get a whole lot of rest. So, if we can, even then, if we just, got the ball out a little bit and moved the chains and things like that, got them some rest and didn't put them in a bad situation. Thankfully we got the punt and we got 3 points out of it, though.
I think Jackson said it made him feel like he would know Kiffin was there to fight for him when he went out and kind of would talk to the players or talk to the refs about that Mingo touchdown. What does it mean to you to see him kind of come out beyond the numbers and kind of fight for y'all?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, we always talk about how much Coach Kiffin means to us as players because he's such a player's coach, and he's going to fight for us. And, he wants what's best for us, and he wants us to win. At the end of the day, I think that's all everybody's really striving for, is everybody wants to win on Saturdays.
Going 6-2 around this time last year, and obviously going undefeated in the month of November. What kind of switch was flipped back then, and now in that you're already in this situation? How do you feel like that same switch can be flipped kind of this time around? Like what changed last year to kind of make y'all go undefeated in the month of November, and what's the key this time around?
I feel like this is kind of one thing that's always said around here is they remember what you do in November. This is kind of the important time of year. It's like it's when things are kind of getting decided, for the postseason and SEC championships, things like that. You want to be a part of that conversation, be able to play in those games. So, we're kind of in the stretch now where we got 3 really good teams. It's still 1 week at a time, but, you got to really double down on everything now. Yep.